Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Fusion Space for today's episode of Storytime, Fantastic Four by Mark Waid and Mike Weiringo. This is one of the most beloved runs of the comic in the modern era, published beginning in 2002 with the 99-cent issue, a promotional stunt at the time meant to showcase top talent and bring in new readers, and it certainly worked on me. In fact, I was a hardcore DC fan, not buying any Marvel books at the time, and this 99-cent issue was so good I was hooked, and ended up buying the books not only to the end of this run, but beyond it, and other Fantastic Four titles as well. I had never appreciated them before or knew anything about them beyond the two movies such as the Roger Corman 1994 one, and this run made me a fan of the comic, so I hope it does the same for you to some extent. I'll be showcasing two stories from books 1 and 2 out of the 4 trade paperbacks that the run is collected into, and briefly describing the other issues to give you a sense of the whole. One more episode should follow this, maybe two, covering a few more notable stories. In this episode, we'll begin with the 99-cent issue, Inside Out, and meet the Fantastic Four through the eyes of their new publicist, there to do research to help pitch a new comic book to be published in the universe about them, all part of the business side of the enterprise, which helps to pay for Reed's experiments at the family's expense. We'll see how they aren't a typical superhero team, but a family of explorers who help out the city and the world when needed. Then the main part of the episode will be the story Unthinkable, and it's Dr. Doom's latest revenge scheme, and it's a doozy. I'm not spoiling any more here. Suffice it to say that Mark Waid turns in top-notch work as a superhero comics writer, as always, delivering real heart with his characters and epic adventure with his plots, and Mike Weiringo's somewhat innocent and cartoonish style perfectly suits with the lighter tone of the book. But don't let it fool you. With Dr. Doom involved, we'll be going some dark places as well, to be sure. So buckle up for adventure, and let's begin. Recall their first adventure together when scientist Reed Richards took his fiancée Susan Storm and her brother Johnny on an exploratory starship piloted by aviator Ben Grimm. As the intrepid foursome prepares for flight, she'll handle like a dream. I promise you the adventure of a lifetime. You're aware, I presume, of what happened next? Disaster. Richards severely underestimated the amount of shielding required to pass safely through the Van Allen belt and beyond, leaving them vulnerable to immeasurable levels of radiation. Then, hear that? It's cosmic rays! I warned you about 'em, egghead! I warned you! Then, its mission aborted, the starship crash-landed in the California woods, its passengers miraculously unharmed. Moments later, the Fantastic Four display their new powers. We've changed, all of us, because their bodies have been mutated by the radiation, freakishly transformed. And so was born the Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. The Fantastic Four. Still, in a way I cannot even begin to fathom, they turned tragedy into triumph. From that day forward, Richards and his friends began new lives, and as a family and a team, ushered in what we know today as the Age of Marvels. Lights? The Fantastic Four are pioneers of science. They are the world's first Imaginauts, if you will. And now they are our clients. Meaning, their licensing revenue is down 22% from last year. Wizard Magazine hasn't hot-picked their comic for months. Vanity Fair passed on a Ben Grimm interview. And last week, Howard Stern bumped Johnny Storm for Danny Bonaducci. Let me repeat that. Danny Bonaducci. They need something. Scherzer, you're a brainstormer. What do you have for me? Sir, I'm me, and they're superheroes. I handle rock stars. Same thing. Pack a suitcase, Scherzer. It's time to meet the family. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Ha! I knew it. Reed told you to drain the lizard before we left, Matchstick. And this is your business, how? All those who even remember owning a reptile, raise your hands. Johnny, Ben, please. Why, you... Ben spills his drink on Johnny. Hey! Oops. You did that on purpose. Sue, Ben threw his coke at me and the guy. Scherzer. It was an accident, you squirt. These mitts ain't exactly made for high tea, you know. Besides, you're so sore you got dumped by Jennifer. I don't want to hear that name. Well, you two knock it off. We have a guest. He started it. What name? Quit touching me, bighead. Touch. I'm so sorry, Mr. Scherzer. When Johnny gets worked up, his skin temperature rises to uncomfortable. Reed stretches his head to the back seat. I mean it, you two. Don't make me turn this interdimensional transport around. Am I understood? Reed, eyes on the road! Eyes on the road! Reed narrowly dodges a large creature. Ah, there you are.
Mr. Scherzer, you might want to stay inside. Might?
The Fantastic Four descend onto the large creature. What'd you call this thing again, Stretcho? The thing knocks away the local fauna. You, get! The data board, Ben. I concluded that the best way to gather information from the Levyverse was to bioengineer a self-sustaining dimensional probe that can convert ingested matter into fuel. Data board. Got it. Johnny helps out with his flames and Sue with her invisible shields.
Your husband sure has some cool hobbies, sis. What can I say? Guess a big brain really does it for me. I was being sarcastic, and, oh yeah, ew. Digging the invisible force field work, though. Need a hand? I'm fine, sweetie. Just thinking about how sexy big brains are. Oh, God, please stop. Heh.
Reed forms his body into a large blanket shape. By swarming the data board, these indigenous life forms are killing it, ruining months of research. He expands, scattering the bug-like creatures. Bong! They're mindless insects merely reacting to the data board's presence. Clear them away, but try not to hurt them.
Hey, by mindless, did you mean instead maybe fireproof?
Meat, blood, life, warm, hunger, taste fire.
I said get! You okay, kid?
Yeah.
Reed installs the device on the data board. There, this should repel any further attacks. We're done here. Mission accomplished. Give me a lift, Susie.
Maneuver 17A?
Oh, my Aunt Petunia. Stop showing off because we got company. I can barely remember our phone number, okay? Just let on a friggin' line. Sue forms a long, narrow shield for Ben to climb like a pole while Reed stretches back up to the ship and Johnny flies alongside him.
Do we still have any of that butter pecan Reed came up with? Stuff that burns more calories than rugby? Not a spoonful. What do you think got me through that last pregnancy?
Huh.
Ice cream? So, you do stuff like this often? Do what? Take a Sunday drive?
The Fantastic Car speeds away from the data board. Inside out. The Fantastic Car returns through the portal to the Baxter Building to find Franklin Richards waiting.
Cool. Mom! Hey, you. Franklin, say hello to Mr. Scherzer. Hi. What does he do, Ms. Richards? Only what you'd expect of a wonderfully brave, wonderfully smart, wonderfully normal 7-year-old. He and his sister are amazing. Daddy, what'd you bring me, Daddy?
How about a brand new macro atom? Reed hands Franklin a cluster of glowing balls.
Cool. Right. You also have a baby daughter named Val? And she's just adorable. You'll see. Right now she's in daycare with her sitter on the moon. Oh, why not? So Reed hired your firm to improve our image? Forgive me, but why on earth would something like that?
Matter? Because popularity is mercurial, Sue. People like us who don't periodically reinvent ourselves are too quickly forgotten. Mr. Scherzer has been sent to observe us for a few days and see what might be done to keep us living the glamorous life. While Fantastic Four Inc. is a non-profit organization, Mr. Scherzer, licensing still makes a substantial dent in our R&D outlay. I figured patent royalties took care of that. Since when does Reed give a big stretchy hawk about our Q rating?
I know. It doesn't seem at all like Reed to be concerned with our, celebrity? Johnny, any thoughts? Yes, I have no ice cream. Johnny Storm. So much more goes on around you than you pay any attention to.
One of the insects has hitched a ride on the Fantastic Car and sneaks away into the Baxter Building. On Monday, the visiting executive stands outside the Baxter Building high in the air, held aloft by one of Sue's force fields as she helps the Human Torch make repairs inside a wall panel outside the building. The Invisible Woman gives him a taste of being invisible, terrifying him even further. Sue wants Johnny to take on some more responsibility, but he flies away before she can finish telling it. On Tuesday, Reed attempts to control chaos in a lab when an anti-gravity formula is spilled on the floor. The Thing pounds on machinery to keep it from hitting people, while the Human Torch evaporates a dangerous liquid with his flames. Reed stretches into the sky to rescue the scientist before he flies away.
Good news. I lived. And stopped worrying about who'd get my office to. Richard thanked the scientist for calling him in and immediately launched into what, digging through the $10 words, sounded like a lecture on the dangers of playing with liquid null gravitons. Then I learned something. He wasn't invited.
Huh?
This think tank of geniuses, cause cerebral. It's an annual event. Reed says next to the Nobels, an invitation is the greatest honor in science. Reed's been attending since he was 17, but...
But you mean those bums included him out this year? Heck, he's probably smarter than all of them put together. Why would they?
Is that why he hired my firm? I don't know. I swear. I mean, I can't judge the size of his ego. No, you can't. You listen to me. Reed is very humble. But if his ego were 1,000 times bigger than you just insinuated, he'd still be entitled to it. What she said. I'm not the sharpest tack, but I'm smart enough to know that a mind like Reed's comes along maybe once every 100 years. I don't see any of those highbrows who called us in decoding alien language or rewriting Stephen Hawking. I don't hear about them discovering half the stuff Reed does. Is my brother-in-law weird? Heck yeah. But that's the kind of weird that changes the world for the better. And we get the best seats in the house. Not a bad speech from the kid brother. Told me something new. But not about Richards. Clearly the other three were all adventurers at heart. But most of the time, Johnny fiddles with cars. Sue wrestles with motherhood. Ben watches a lot of WWE. They don't tend to navigate the Amazon or explore rat-infested catacombs just 'cause. On the other hand, if Reed wants to investigate some civilization he found living on the side of an electron, they'll jump in and run interference without hesitation. It's that kind of help that allows Richards to focus on scientific breakthroughs that, well, not to overstate, but that could possibly pioneer the future of the human race. My God, does his family realize how much they contribute to that? Is that why they do what they do?
Schertzer finds Ben looking over his shoulder.
What'd you think?
Because you're superheroes?
Funny.
On Wednesday, Ben carries a large grandfather clock down the street.
Never takes me shopping just to be nice. No. Susie? Susie, wait up. This ain't no way to treat your pack mule.
So, Mr. Grimm, I have to ask, what's it like to see yourself merchandised? I can't go half a block in Soho without finding saleables both licensed, and unlicensed. Rap music. Interesting.
For the love of Mike. Rap ain't music. It's just a bunch of talentless bozos who ain't never learned to play a real instrument.
You don't know my street. You couldn't take my blows, see you crying while you're dying trying to find them heroes.
Huh?
Oh, Dip, Sim, Papa Grimm live on the set. Seems you have some fans, mister. Everybody thinks I'm a monster. True dat. Give me some brick, OG. Jamal, tune the man.
What the?
You the chim, Mr. Grimm.
The teenager hands Ben a CD with his picture on it, labeled Clobbering Time.
Bust this. Think you know what I ought to do? Well, hate to say it, I got news for you. You don't know my street. You couldn't take my blows, see you crying while you're dying trying to find them heroes. Not me. I don't let no one mess with mine. Just step off, hater, or it's clobbering time. Got a sting like the thing, yeah, it's clobbering time. Best believe I don't let no one mess with mine. Just step off, hater, or it's clobbering time. Don't no one tell me how to spend my days. I've come too far to let you change my ways. Me and my G's, always up for more. We rollin' like we going off Fantastic Four. So, what you think?
I think the Hulk's gonna be awful jealous. I don't know what you nutty kids are doing, but keep doing it, I guess. Thanks, pal.
I'm surprised you're surprised, Mr. Grimm. Groups from Lincoln Park to Cypress Hill drop your name all the time. They love you. Did you like the song?
Beats the heck out of that golden oldie. Get away from my baby. Nah, it still ain't nothing but yakking to a beat. Who can listen to that junk?
Thursday.
Not me. I don't let no one mess with mine. Just step off, hater, or it's clobbering time.
Friday.
You know what's to our credit as far as this whole husband-wife thing goes? We've developed a good system.
For example?
Example, when you march to your own oblivious beat, I know when to trust you to wander off, and when to grab you by the collar.
This is about Schertzer, isn't it?
How'd you know?
We've developed a good system. You're dying to ask me why on earth I commissioned his services. Well...
Hey, that's them! Can you make it out to Cody with a Y? No way! Give me a pen! Thank you, Mr. Elastic.
I believe the name Mr. Elastic, whoever he is, tells the tale. Call me vain, but I like people knowing who we are. Can you imagine Johnny the first time someone says to him, "Didn't you used to be the Human Torch?"
Not without mentally counting the casualties. And I would never call you vain, sweetheart. So what is this about?
Saturday. The proposed Fantastic Four comic, F! Bears tough-looking and futuristic versions of the four heroes.
Guys, you're kidding. It's just a rough. If we're gonna relaunch the comic, that's a hot look. Widescreen, authoritative. To the extreme. Thank you, Poochie, but no. You got it all wrong. Took me a week to figure it out, during which, I'm happy to report, I worked out some new ways to maintain the FF public profile. But here's the 411. These guys aren't superheroes.
What?
Not really. They don't fight crime. They don't go on patrol. They don't have a bat signal. They're astronauts. They're envoys, adventurers, explorers. Sure, Galactus comes to town, they'll step up. Trouble finds them, they'll kick its ass. But that's not the job. It just comes with. Ask any frontiersman, any trailblazer. Maybe they've been around for a while. The only thing old about the FF is that they never stop taking us into the new. My advice? You want to do a comic? You make it about people, not about costumes, and people will care. You know, they do wear costumes. I think that's for the cameras more than anything. I will say this, though. I don't think I'll ever understand why celebrity's a priority at all with Richards. Why does a man like Reed care about the spotlight?
Because, well, I wish I could tell him. Do you want to know, Val? It'll have to be our secret, okay? Okay. Once upon a time, there was a genius a very bright man who... Reed looks at a picture of the four before their space flight. Once upon a time, there was a very arrogant man who did something very stupid. Without proper preparation or shielding, he took his friends through a wave of radiation that made them all something other than human. His guilt was unbearable and deserved. These were the people he loved, and he destroyed their lives. Thanks to him, they were fated to be freaks, lab specimens, or worse. Unless he changed that fate somehow. On his desk is a letter from Cause Cerebral. It reads, Dear Dr. Richards, our best wishes regarding your absence from this year's conference. We certainly understand your desire to instead spend time with your new daughter, and we congratulate you on... Reed stretches into a funny face for Val. Unless he made the world see them for what they were, three of the best and bravest people anyone could hope to meet. So he refused to let them operate in secret. He gave them a home in a city of 8 million, and he gave them costumes and a flying car, and he encouraged them to parade around with some pretty outlandish names. Mr. Fantastic. Does that sound like something anyone would really want to call themselves? No, but that's the kind of thing that made headlines, and t-shirts, and action figures. He knew that would keep people from fearing them. You see, glamour and fame weren't options. They were necessities. Because maybe, by turning his friends into celebrities, he could be forgiven for taking their normal lives away. Someday.
Said I'll tell him. Hey, Stretcho, you know you told us not to mess with the time machine? Match take care.
What's your idea?
Whatever. Listen, Davy Crockett needs some help.
Sure, now. And MIT called, so after we unwild the West. Boy, I hear some people get days off here and there. Us, on the other hand, there's always going to be something new to deal with, isn't there?
Oh, please. You know the answer to that as well as I do. I certainly hope so. End. Now we'll begin skipping over these issues to get to our next story and keep you in the loop as to what's happening. The Thing is hit in the face with a giant pie, courtesy of the Yancey Street Gang, his ex-friends from his old neighborhood. Unfortunately for whoever has been pranking him, they left a return address on this package. Johnny begins to sweat, as it's been him sending the pranks all these years. He attempts to stop Ben before he gets to the building that'll reveal Johnny's name if he gets there. Ben sprays him with a hydrant, not willing to let anything get in the way of his revenge. Back at the Baxter building, Reed is checking in on the children, Valeria and Franklin, when suddenly portals to a dark netherworld seem to open in the floor and walls of the nursery. Reed sees spiders crawling out of his daughter's face. Soon, however, the illusion passes and all appears normal again. What disturbs Reed the most is his utter inability to explain what's happened. Ben reaches his destination only to find the building that he seeks is gone. Figuring he's been pranked again, he sulks on his way home. Johnny thinks he's off the hook, but when the building comes back into view, he quickly figures out his invisible sister is the cause. Sue, frustrated with Johnny, gives him responsibility he can't shrug off without hurting his family, placing him in charge of the Fantastic Four's licensing department. Sentient is a three-part story where Reed's Palm Pilot, a handheld tablet-style computer popular at the time, becomes sentient and seeks him out, demanding a reciprocal and equal to itself, which it defines as its creator, Reed. It divides matter into its base elements and menaces the family, but eventually Reed writes for it a simulation of himself, and they merge, disappearing into the infinite. In small stuff, Johnny makes a large mistake, but tries to be responsible. He lets a company have a sample of the team's unstable molecules, the material their indestructible suits are made of, for use in emergency services gear. When they try to reverse engineer it, they only find a message saying that they have violated their contract. However, they stole Johnny's wallet during an earlier visit with him, and their work on that proceeded to unlock the molecules, beginning a chain reaction melting everything they come in contact with. In the follow-up issue Big Stuff, Sue reprimands Johnny, but there's no time for that, as Sue must encase the entire building in a force field and hold it until the reaction is ended, or else the entire planet will melt along with it. With supreme effort, Sue manages to succeed.
Look, obviously sticking me in this job wasn't the most rational decision you ever made. But that's because you weren't mad at me for being a kid. You were mad at you because you thought you raised me wrong. Well, you didn't. If I can help the family, I want to be a part of this. John will backstop me, but you can trust me. I'm not always 14. Everything I do know about being an adult, I learned from you, okay? Office responsibilities are yours. Provisionally. I want to fine-tooth this plan before I make it permanent. John, we'll discuss your raise in the morning. In the meantime, control of the checkbook goes to you two. Which means, Johnny, there's one huge perk in it for you, and here it is. Enjoy.
Sue presses a button on the phone.
Psst.
Hello?
Susie, it's Ben. Listen, I know things are a mess down there now that we let a couple bean counters go, but I'm a little short of dough this month. Who do I gotta talk to now to get an advance of my allowance?
Johnny begins to grin. End. Unthinkable. Prologue.
Are you certain? Her name is Valeria.
Valeria? No. Give me your hand.
What is it?
Your pain. The lifeline. Splintered. Broken. You have led quite a troubled life.
Victor.
Victor. Do you see it? An unusually sharp angle very early in the line. Your path changes abruptly. Your trials begin. Odd.
What?
Your hands, chafed, tarnished as if by metal, and pale, so pale. Your skin rarely feels the sun's warmth, does it, Victor?
Not often.
Your destiny was altered. Now your soul aches with remorse.
6 months, a year ago, I would have thought that an idiotic assumption regarding a remarkable life. My accomplishments are the stuff of legends. I have been a king, a billionaire, a god. My technologies make mockery of the word impossible. Machines born of my intellect have sent souls to heaven and freed them from hell. There is nothing worthwhile in all creation I have not tasted, touched, or owned outright. All because of one choice I made as a young man. One decision. And I have finally come to realize that it has never brought me what I seek in life. And it likely never will. It cannot be undone. But it can be revoked. A new life can begin.
Valeria.
I have resources beyond imagining. I will find her. And when I do, I will trade everything that I am for her love. Casamonte, Georgia. Hardly the old country. A town made up almost entirely of self-styled fortune-tellers and psychics who are, at best, laughable imitations of the real spellweavers of my youth. In my duties as ruler of Latveria, I traveled the eastern nations with some regularity. I visit America only when I must, and leave as quickly as I can. I prefer civilization. Those times I have come here, it has been to do battle with Reed Richards and his ill-witted family. This is my first exposure to the loathsome sort of Tartarus referred to by the natives as a tourist trap. Still, it is here that Valeria's trail ends. In an abhorrent hamlet of 2,000, almost all of whom are storefront seers handling tarot decks with the grace of a baboon. Being nomads, my tribe traveled the breadth of Hungary during the warm months, and they were not my favorite. I waited impatiently for the fall, eager to return to the woods outside Muskowick, where, each year, we would set camp in readiness for winter. The forest was the smell of mushrooms and the crackle of parchment leaf in the cool, dry air. It was the second most beautiful thing I knew. My people, by necessity, lived a lean existence. Gifts were uncommon, as we had little to give. What we needed, we stole. What we could not steal, we built by hand, and hoped it would work.
Young Victor presents young Valeria with a music box he has crafted, and she kisses him.
Like my mother before him, my father fell victim to the prejudice of small-minded villagers who, fueled by a delusion of superiority, hounded us. When he died, Valeria became my world, a world removed from the ignobility of the common man. My father's possessions held a beguiling secret. My mother's heirlooms had nothing to do with the sciences I had, to then, pursued and studied with every waking moment. They were the door to another realm entirely, for my mother, as I learned, had been an accomplished sorceress. Suddenly, an entire new arena of knowledge lay before me. Fascinated, I devoted my night to studying the dark arts, while giving equal time during the day to pursuing new technologies. Inventions that serve to protect my people from persecution and harm.
Victor's machines protect the nomads from the police and their riot gear.
Unsurprisingly, my reputation as a scientist made its way in time across the ocean. A soldier representing a number of universities came to offer me not one, but several scholarships. I would be granted access to the world's most modern research facilities, provided I were willing to study in America.
Then what?
You would tell me if you could, you charlatan. May my mother's spirit forever haunt you for cheapening our art. Good evening.
Victor leaves the fake psychic.
Another day, another fraud.
I'll gladly find this woman for you, Victor. Join me in meditation. And as you speak of her, allow the crystal to serve as the mind's eye.
Scrying, in the hands of the practiced, a valuable tool for interpreting yesterday and tomorrow. In the hands of a crass quacksalver, a mundane focus for crudely hypnotizing the utterly suggestive. I choose to be entertained by my own imaginings. We had reached the point where hearts break, Valeria and I. For, unlike myself, she had familial obligations and could not leave our homeland. She begged me to stay. She refused to understand the importance of the opportunity afforded me. Exploration brings knowledge, I told her. Knowledge brings power. I promised her that science and nothing else would forever deliver us, her and I, from the cruelty so willfully heaped upon us by lesser men. And yet, despite our love, she put forth an ultimatum. This new road, or the life we knew. Whichever one I selected, I had to leave the other behind forever. So, I did.
Victor leaves Valeria in tears to go to America.
Consequently, I buried myself in the sciences, in the process making no friends, but one enemy, a marginally bright man, so jealous of my own brilliance that, feigning concern, pretending merely to evaluate my formulae, he deliberately tampered with the design of one of my greatest inventions, causing it to explode in a paroxysm of hellfire. I survived, if you could call it that. My face was hideously scarred, my reputation destroyed, and I would spend a lifetime avenging both, to no end. Valeria knows full well the man I have since become. So disapproving is she that she lives in hiding, striving to ensure our paths never again cross.
Victor sees a house in the crystal ball.
What?
We're not all posers, you know. The woman you seek is there, just down the street. And Victor, she's waiting for you.
Victor Von Doom finds Valeria sitting in a darkened parlor.
You weren't supposed to find me.
You impress me with your choice of refuge. You knew my contempt for the United Kennel of America would keep me away. Valeria, I mean you no harm. I bring but a simple offering I have treasured since long ago. I need you to have it.
He hands her a golden locket.
Victor, I can't.
Opening the locket, Valeria finds pictures of her and Victor from long ago.
Dear God, were we ever that young?
Yes, but only one of us was foolish. Valeria, I love you. Please, come back to me.
To who, Victor? To the callow boy who tumbled through the autumn leaves? He no longer exists. His place has been taken by a despotic chalice of evil, with a name good men can barely whisper.
He isn't here, and he need never be seen again. Valeria, I come to you without armor, without protection, and without any desire to endure one more day as the man I became once we parted. When we were young, I made a fateful choice, and it led me down a path I now regret. I want to choose again.
I can't help you, Victor. The love I had for you is gone.
Victor removes his mask.
No, it isn't. Not completely, don't you see? If it were, you'd be like all the others, too repelled to even glance at me. No, you still have feelings for me. Embers that could burn brightly, given a chance.
Victor, stop. You can't just come in and... I have a life beyond yours.
Yes, one that no longer need be ruled by fear.
There is a difference in you. Your armor.
A mechanical device, a symbol of the technology I henceforth reject. This is not an offer made lightly, Valeria. I am prepared to renounce science in all its forms, if you will take my hand. If you will save me.
Victor places a music box on Valeria's desk.
I give you my most solemn word of honor, Valeria.
He opens the music box and it begins to play.
Your love will make me a changed man.
Valeria smiles. She examines their youthful pictures in the locket, their smiling young faces so in love.
I'm so confused. This is not at all what I expected from you. I can't promise anything, Victor. We have so much more to discuss before.
Understood. Just tell me that there is a chance for us.
Valeria takes Victor's hand.
Certainly.
Excellent.
The locket begins to glow with an unearthly green light.
Ah! Victor! Victor, what's happening?
The green light runs up her arm and floods Valeria's body. Glowing red runes begin to appear in her flesh as she screams in pain.
My life is changing.
Ah!
When I was young, I made a fateful choice. I chose science over sorcery, and I wanted to choose again.
The flame and the runes have covered Valeria's entire body as she crumples to the floor.
Ah! Victor!
Thus, I made a pact. I conjured a cabal of nether demons who claimed they would make me the magician I could have been, and greater besides. But, as is too often true of demons, There was a barter involved. One condition. I had to sacrifice something of indescribable value. Something irreplaceable. Something only you could give me.
Valeria's runically marked skin begins to be stripped from her muscle.
Farewell, my love.
The demonically enchanted flesh begins to wrap around Doom. The poor, trusting woman's skeleton collapses in a pile on the floor next to the golden locket.
Dear, dear Valeria, I will miss you more than any will ever imagine. But I will always hold you close to me.
Dr. Doom stands ready in his new demonic armor, now equipped with a new kind of power to attempt to take his revenge on Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. Unthinkable, Part 1. Monday.
Love to imagine some cash, Benji. But that bike messenger, the one who accidentally ran into you? I thought, gee, we really ought to pay for that metal plate in his head. And, well, the money has to come from somewhere. Check back tomorrow, big guy?
Today. Ben decorates a huge water balloon with spray paint. Tuesday.
There ain't no such thing as Kalani Day.
There is now. And we close early on Killarney Day. Happy holidays.
Today. Ben grins as he fills the large water balloon at a faucet. Wednesday.
Said I moved payday to Thursdays from now on. I sent a memo.
Today. Ben looks down to see Johnny sunbathing on a lower roof. Thursday. Ben finds a stuffed dummy in Johnny's office wearing his suit. Today. Ben positions the water balloon on the ledge above him. A massive orange balloon filled with water and bearing the thing's angry face hurtles down towards the Human Torch. Elsewhere, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman explore a new dimension Reed has discovered, fighting off the local inhabitants as they go. Eventually, Reed figures out that they speak in trinary code. He modulates a language to speak to them, and communicates. Upon hearing his message, they quickly flee. Oh, sorry. Turns out they speak trinary code. So I said, I am Dr. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, and I... Sue makes a flying shield for them to travel in.
Go on.
Actually, that's as far as I got, but it was enough to send them running. Apparently, my reputation precedes me. Which is unfortunate, since we came in peace.
Did you find what you were looking for, at least?
Absolutely. This dimension is ripe with photonuclear crystals. Photon batteries, if you will. If I can decode their cellular structure, I can advance solar power technology at least 5 years.
You know, if you're not careful, we're going to be the first generation to leave behind a better world.
Well, that's the goal. Tree.
Who's driving? Relax. Speaking of which, you've had your nose riding the grindstone for weeks now. I think somebody's compensating for not yet figuring out what went on in Val's nursery that day. I have a theory. Want to hear it? Again?
No.
It was magic. Magic, magic, magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Magic! Don't be so closed-minded. You've seen sorcery.
No, I've seen a science I haven't yet bothered to explore.
Not everything can be explained by science.
Bite your tongue.
What is love, Dr. Richards?
Very funny.
Uh-oh. Wow, you really do have a traveling rep, you bad boy. Those guys didn't run. They went for reinforcements to block our teleportal home. And they think it's you they have to worry about. Later, fellas.
Sue uses her powers to barnstorm their way back through the teleportal and into the Baxter building, safely closing the portal behind them. They find Johnny soaking wet.
Anti-Ben-Ray. I need an anti-Ben-Ray.
Johnny, what on earth are you looking for? And why are you, of all people, wet?
Is it raining, Uncle Johnny? Ben. Balloon. Water. Notice shadow. Flamed on. Still soaked. Seeking revenge. Where do you keep your death lasers?
Haven't we discussed Newton's third law?
I can turn him into a fig Newton?
For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. What did you do to provoke this?
Nothing, I swear. Terrace, sun, balloon, boom!
Okay, Let's come up with something.
Me and you? You went along for the ride? Since when?
Since I realized letting you go unsupervised was a worse idea. Besides, I'm Ben's best friend.
Which means you'll never see it coming.
Precisely. Alright, you two, bring me an alternator from a 1960 Ford Fairlane, a banjo, and a 5-pound bag of flour. And suit up. Johnny goes with Franklin to do as Reed requested. Sue finds Ben in the kitchen.
Thanks, Susie. I'll pay you back. Benji. Say Benji. Uncle Benji.
First Franklin, now you. Ben, I'm as eager as anyone to hear Val's first word, but give her time. She's only a few months old.
Yeah, I know. Look at her dad. I figure Reed was yakking in the womb, don't you think? Probably gave the delivery doc a lecture on epidurals. So who knows? Maybe Val's another egghead to be.
All we know for sure about her is that she's safe, right?
Oh, Susie, don't go there again. It don't matter no more.
I'm sorry, Ben. It's just... Of all the people to see Val into this world, for it to have been Victor, makes me nauseous.
Stop. I know. None of us was happy about it. But look at her. She turned out just fine anyway. Maybe he was the first to hold her, but that's the last shot he'll ever get. He ain't never coming within 1,000,000 miles of Val ever again. I promise. Let her play with her blocks. She's just fine. Now, what's for lunch?
The cartoon bear on Valeria's toy block transforms into Dr. Doom's face and begins to speak to her in an eldritch voice.
Hello, Valeria. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Victor Von Doom. I am your godfather. At least, so I consider myself. After all, it was only Doom, who possessed both the knowledge and the skill to see your mother through childbirth. You see, when a baby is born of parents empowered by radiation the way yours are, there can be complications. Once before, years ago, your father was called upon to compensate for such difficulties in a moment of crisis. Because of his pitiable ineptitude, your mother suffered a miscarriage. Consequently, when the hour of your birth was upon us, and Richard's elsewhere, your Uncle Jonathan turned to me for aid, his enemy, gambling in all likelihood that I could not pass up the certainty of succeeding where your father blundered. No matter. I asked in return only that I be allowed to name you Valeria, after someone close to me. When I delivered you, I realized what a gift your birth was to me. How it might finally provide me a method by which to at last avenge myself against the indignities your family has visited upon me. The moment you appeared, when I first held you in my armored hands, a whispered series of incantations and spells forever bound us, you and I. Despite your parents' most fervent hopes and dreams, Valeria, you are no ordinary child. In the parlance of the occult, you are my familiar, my eyes and ears, an extension of my senses, my conduit for sorcery. On the day you were born, I placed you under my royal protection. I vowed no harm would ever come to you. But I made no such guarantees to those idiotic enough to hold you to their breast. Trust me, Valeria, by day's end your father will no longer be alive to mold you with his maladroit touch. It is best for you. Remember, this is his handiwork.
Victor removes his mask and shows his face to Valeria.
Let it begin.
The block falls silent with no one having noticed except the child. Reed, Johnny, and Franklin prepare to test a hiccup-causing ray in his lab when the machine malfunctions and a stream of energy begins to seek out Franklin. Reed grabs his son and stretches above the beam as Johnny fights it with his flames. Reed rushes with Franklin to the teleportal, intent on sending him to his usual babysitters, the Inhumans on the moon, for safety.
Huh. Susie, did you hear a noise?
Probably just Reed dropping an atomic wrench or something. Ben, look! Look at Val! I'll be damned.
Reed sees the Inhuman crystal in the teleportal. Crystal, take Franklin. We've got a situation. Not yet, Franklin. On 3.
Was it?
You were right. Listen to her. Doesn't it sound like she's trying to say something? Her first word. What is it, sweetheart? Can you say Mama? Dada? Doom.
1. Johnny is struck with the energy.
Nah!
2. 3. Wait! Franklin rushes through the portal. Franklin, don't! Franklin! The controls, they're not responding. Oh God, no! 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 On the other side of the portal, Franklin is in the grip of demons in what appears to be hell.
Daddy!
Unthinkable, Part 2.
Don't make too much of it, Susie. It's nothing. Just something she overheard.
I don't believe that.
Neither do I. Come on, whatever Reed's working on. Can't be more important than this.
Franklin, don't move! I'm coming!
Bad plan.
What?
If you jump in there, I'm not smart enough to know how to get you back.
You, smart, controls. Me, fireproof. Hell! The Human Torch rushes through the portal.
Uncle Johnny!
Franklin, close your eyes and cover your ears. Just a bad dream, pal. He lied. It's gonna be okay. Johnny punches and blasts the demons with his flames.
Note to self, the phrase I'm in hell is officially no longer cute. Also noted, the ring, no longer scary. Nah! Franklin! Fight, pal! Fight! I've got...
A demon spews fiery green breath at Johnny. He is thrown back out of the portal just before it explodes.
Ah!
No! Franklin!
Burned? That's not... I haven't been burned since... Not since we got our... Ow!
Stretcho, what's going on? We heard screaming.
Johnny?
Wait, where's Franklin?
Don't panic. I will get him back. I'll get him back, and then...
Panic? Get him back? Reed, where's our son? What's happening?
We're under attack. There's some sort of energy moving through the building, changing machinery, warping it. Everyone pulls to the center of the room while I activate her. Reed finds the control console is melted. Defense systems. Damn it.
Stretcho, calm down. You sent Frankie through the teleportal? Where'd he end up?
Hell. He's trapped in hell.
Trapped? My baby? Reed, do something.
Sue, I'm trying. It's
Doom.
Victor, are you sure?
It's what Val said.
What do you mean it's what...
Right out of her lips. His name, clear as a bell. This ain't his M.O., but that ain't no coincidence. Now, what's it mean?
It means he's here. It means... Oh my God. It means he's watching us. He's watching us right now.
How do you...
Blue, Susan. Val's eyes are blue. Reed looked into his daughter's eyes, which had become brown. Get out, Victor! Leave my family alone! Do you hear me?
Reed, stop. You're scaring her.
Reed, get a grip. We'll fix this. Somehow.
Don't hide behind my children, Victor, you coward! Where are you? Show yourself! Doom's voice comes from the baby's mouth.
Soon enough, Richards. Soon enough. Not his method of operation. Heh. The gems that spill from your slack-jawed maw, Grim. Your ignorant demeanor never fails to amuse. These are my methods now. The sorcerer's power for which I bargained seems quite satisfactory. Hazareth 3.
Oh, good. We were worried you might feel cheated. Seriously, we're quite pleased you came to us, Victor. Even in the netherworld, your reputation precedes you. We were wise to bargain with you. We must say we find the sacrifice you offered in exchange quite equitable and palatable. Beyond that, you owe us nothing more than acknowledgement. Having an Earth agent is good for our reputation. Do not forget that you couldn't have done all this without us.
Choose your words carefully, demon. Victor Von Doom bows before no other. I acknowledge you, yes, as allies, not masters.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
You will hardly feel betrayed in any event, Hazareth, once Richards and his loved ones have been dealt with. Our influence on this celestial sphere can only grow.
The Baxter building is enveloped in a swirling vortex of mystical energy as the team prepare to board the Fantastic car.
Oh man, I don't remember Al Roker predicting this. Okay guys, we're ready to roll. Get a move on before our ride gets turned into a pumpkin or something. Susie, you staying by with Val, right?
Why? Because it's so safe here? Besides, Ben, we don't even know if this is Val, really. No, we're coming along. Not much choice. I don't know about Johnny, though. I am not sitting out. What have we got in the medicine cabinet to fix me up?
This should do it. Let's go. Hell. Franklin runs through the darkness in flames, tormented by demons.
Hello, little one.
Mommy!
You know, you really threw me back there. I ain't used to being the level-headed one, but you look a little more focused. Not even sure I knew we had an arsenal.
My son is in hell and my daughter is possessed. We are not, as Johnny would say, screwing around. My love for my children trumps my distaste for weapons. We go too, Victor. We hit him fast and we hit him hard until he sets things right.
My fault. This is my fault. I should have been able to grab Franklin.
You'll get another chance. That plastic hat should numb the pain while it heals your leg. You ready to fight?
Yeah, but how do we fight Doom this time?
That's why I've drafted an expert, Squirt. We ain't going in alone. I'm called Stephen Strange. Lo, Stephen, it's Ben. Listen, we need you to stop pulling some kind of rabbit out of the hat. It's Doom. He's got some kind of ceremony thing going on it.
I'm aware of Doom's activities, Benjamin. They're not a priority.
Nada. Nah, you're not getting it. Look, just because you're the most powerful sorcerer guy on the planet don't mean you ain't in danger too.
And I appreciate your concern. You're correct. Doom knows my abilities and knowledge rival any he could amass. Still, by employing a sufficiently arcane cloaking incantation, he could have taken even me by surprise with a demonic assault. Thank you for the warning. Goodbye.
Great. Fat lot of help he was.
Victor's behavior is unthinkable. Why, after all these years, is he coming at us with such unscientific means?
I think the fact that you're so rattled answers that question, don't it? We always knew his mom was a witch. Doom finally got wise and started boning up on Hocus Pocus.
I don't believe in magic.
Oh, please. Not even counting Strange. How many spellcasting weirdos we crossed paths with over the years? Franklin's nanny was a witch. Now, you believe in it. You just don't like it. A lot you don't like it.
That's absurd.
It ain't absurd, because when people throw it around, it's the only time you ain't the smartest guy in the room. Nobody likes feeling stupid. Just ask Victor.
The control console sparks and bursts into flames.
Uh-oh.
What the? Did we lose the engine?
More than that. Generators went dead, and all the instruments are hinked out. We just hit lead barrier in airspace. I'm gonna go out on a limb and figure our old pal set up a no-science zone over his homeland. We may as well be flying a filing cabinet. Hang on.
The Fantastic car crashes in Latveria within sight of Castle Doomstadt. The Invisible Woman has protected the family with a shield, and they walk away from the crash unharmed and ready for battle. Dr. Doom awaits them on a rocky hill, his new flesh armor crackling and glowing with magical energy.
Where is my son?
Sue fires an invisible beam at him, but it is diverted and explodes a tree instead.
Ask your brother. He's the one who left the boy behind.
Shut up!
Johnny leaps into the air, flaming on and firing his flames at Doom. Victor summons a blizzard with a wave of his hand, and the flames are dispelled. A large shape comes at him out of the snowy wind. Reed sees a green field forming around him and his weapons.
Huh? Traded metal armor for leather, huh? Bad move.
Ben's fist collides with Reed as Doom switches their places.
Reed! Oh, no. It's okay. Didn't break anything.
The family regroups. Where'd Victor go?
Not far. Come with me again, Richards. And again.
The Invisible Woman and the Human Torch again fire their powers at Doom, but they are again magically diverted.
Don't stop with physical force. Unleash your technological marvels. Bring your vaunted scientific brilliance to bear. Do your worst. Come on, Reed. He's bluffing. You're the big brain. There's gotta be a way to pull this out. Think of something. Think.
Unthinkable, Part 3. Reed hands the baby to Ben as Doom continues to shrug off the other's attacks. Ben, move Val to safety. Take her far away, and fast.
What do you got?
I don't care what type of power Doom's using. You can call it magic if you like. It still has to come from somewhere. Reed makes adjustments to one of his weapons.
Block the source.
Exactly. An electromagnetic pulse set to the proper frequency will interrupt every form of energy I know of short of gravity. And demolish any circuitry he's got concealed beneath that new armor.
You think he's hiding gadgets in there?
I would be. Go. Reed fires his giant energy weapon at Doom. Go! The thing runs into the woods with Valeria as Reed's weapon strikes Doom, enveloping him in blue light and bringing him down to the ground.
Good timing, Reed. My force fields are holding like wet paper. And I can't crank the Fahrenheit up all the way. Didn't Ben say something about Judge Doom here repealing the local laws of science?
Are you breathing air? Can you hear sound? Then science still operates, all right? It just has to try harder. Reed holds Doom with his gun while Johnny attacks again with his flames.
Pour it on, Johnny. Don't you dare let up.
And Sue attacked with a hail of razor-sharp invisible shields.
Not until he gives me my son back.
Sue is horrified by the object in her husband's hands.
Oh, good God! Reed, what is that?
It's a makeshift EMP generator. So much for Victor's dismissal of technology.
Sue, what's he talking about? Reed, no. You're seeing what Doom wants you to see. Look.
Reed looks again, and his gun is a mass of flesh, bones, and eyes. He discards it.
He's faking. Doom's faking.
And yet, my disappointment in your brother-in-law is genuine. Leopards and their spots. You remain a silicon relic in a post-electronic world, Richards. My world.
Doom's magical armor repairs itself.
Jonathan was correct. You might as well have been shining a flashlight. You honestly thought you could render me powerless?
The three charge at Doom.
Ha! This is powerless.
With a wave of his hand, he removes their powers.
Ah! Pitiful mind shackled by quantum dogma. Our game has new rules. I have embraced a reality you're incapable of comprehending, Richards. Beyond numbers, beyond theorems. The world I see is a harmonious symphony of interconnectivity, a global latticework of energy, breathtaking in its splendor. It's beautiful.
Doom sees the energy connecting everything in the world, and sees that he has cut the three off from it.
Hate like hell running, but your dad's right. We gotta get us away from danger. Oh, damn it!
Valeria vanishes from Ben's hands and appears in Victor's.
Oh, no. Oh, Val, this isn't happening. Don't you lay a hand on her.
You monster. There must be some way to stop him, Reed. This might work.
The thing punches Doom's head around backwards, breaking his neck. The others look on in shock as Doom slowly and calmly wrenches his head back around again and replaces his hood.
Well, Richards, any more bright ideas? Fight! Just fight!
Doom summons an army of large humanoid creatures and they attack the thing.
Man, you're ugly, and that's coming from me. Everybody back off and leave this to... Remarkably strong, aren't they, Valeria? I located them in a neighboring dimension. Like your Uncle Benjamin, sentient only by the basest of definitions. They are mindless ones. They exist only to destroy. I could not ask for better warriors. You're just jealous because they know when to shut up. Acknowledge my superiority. Surrender.
Go to hell! Doom snaps his fingers and a portal to hell opens before the family.
Women and children first.
Franklin!
Know when you're beaten, Richards. Surrender. What am I saying? You've too much pride for that. Unless... very well. Surrender, and I will release your child. On that, you have the solemn word of Doom, who always honors his promises. You know this.
The mindless ones continue to pound on the thing.
Reed, no, we can we can beat him. We gotta. No, you cannot. Those are my terms. You really have no choice but to acquiesce. Unless, of course, the legendary genius of Reed Richards can concoct some plan to extract victory from this.
The mindless ones turn on Sue and Johnny.
All right. All right. We surrender. Very well.
The Inhuman army vanishes and Doom places Valeria on the ground.
Bargain upheld.
He banishes the portal and green energy envelops the Fantastic Four.
Daddy! No, 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 no!
Doom's stronghold. Doom examines chunks of orange rock on the floor.
Only 2? Well, it's only been an afternoon.
Ben Grimm is held upside down by green energy while mindless ones punch his helpless body. Val fusses in his arms.
There. Hush. I know, it wasn't really fair of me to steal the others' powers, was it? I've given them back, you know.
Nah!
In my way.
Johnny is painfully stretched around several metal poles, given Reed's stretching ability without his ability to endure it painlessly.
It's fascinating to see the results. I imagine, for example, your mother's in even more pain than your uncle.
In similar fashion, Sue kneels in a pentagram, engulfed in Johnny's flames, but not being burned away.
Ma!
She'd love to hold you, I'm sure, but I wouldn't recommend it. And as for your father...
Please, Victor, for the love of God, please stop hurting my family. This is between you and me. It always has been. Please. I'll do anything you want.
That much is true.
This room. Why am I here, Victor?
Because I'm a better man than you. Mr. Fantastic. That you chose that name for yourself says it all. Your problem, Richards, is your unquenchable vanity. You are the center of your universe. In your unmitigated arrogance, you carry around an eternal sense of entitlement that is wholly undeserved. And yet, so fundamental to your sense of self that you're constantly willing to put everyone around you at risk to attain whatever goals strike your fancy. And the sad truth is that arrogance is a mask. While it is intended to be a symbol of strength, in reality, it hides a fundamental and profoundly well-deserved insecurity regarding your allegedly superior intelligence. All the glamour and excitement that is the Fantastic Four exists, has always existed, solely to remind others that you think you're smarter than everyone else. Well, you're not. Why are you there, in that room? Because before I appoint myself the emperor of this undeserving mudball, my sense of honor compelled me to grant you a chance you would never grant me. In there are all the tools you require to learn what I already know about magic and sorcery. I will be honest. This is only slightly more fair than handing a road map to a lost dog. And I have every confidence that this opportunity will make you no more worthy an opponent than you are now. Whatever future you have in this world is an exercise in abject humiliation. But, after all this time, I am entitled to my entertainment. This door can be opened by an enchantment a 4-year-old can learn. Whenever you think you're ready to face me, come find me. Take your time. Though, were it my child burning in the fires of hell, I'd hurry.
Reed turns to face the enormous library in which he is imprisoned. The shelves stretch far into the distance and high into the air, filled with books and scrolls. Reed pores over the occult volumes and mystical tomes until a candle melts into a puddle.
He knows. That's why he put me in here. He knows. He knows that I can't understand any of this.
He throws a book in frustration, knocking his candle to the floor.
Franklin, all of you, I'm sorry. I can't save you. I'm not smart enough.
Words form from the candle's flame, reading, "Knowledge isn't everything. S." Unthinkable, Part 4.
Who?
Books and papers swirl around Reed, propelled by a magical force he cannot see. Finally, a ghostly blue hand reaches out from within an open book, and Dr. Strange attempts to break through.
Reed, Richard, can you see me? Can you hear me? Richard, speak the words. Speak the words. Release me.
Stephen? Stephen Strange?
The incantation.
The incantation? Soggoth, and Drael, Alt, Eka.
Dr. Strange fully appears in his astral form.
And thus I may pass freely into this chamber. Congratulations on your first spell. Adequately done, given that you spoke with absolutely no conviction whatsoever. Your voice isn't sound waves. I hear you in my head. Astral manifestations such as this one are incapable of physical communication or interaction. Or, under the circumstances, manipulating magic.
Circumstances?
Doom's first act upon forging his pact for power was to ambush and capture my corporeal form. The surprise more than compensated for his lesser skills. As it is, dividing my spirit from my captive body without detection is taxing my concentration to its limit.
Then reunite so we can pool our strengths. There must be something here we can use to free you.
Reed, my body would not be of much use to us at the moment.
Strange's unconscious body is trapped in a circle and menaced by imps. Then we take some other course of action. Stephen, he has my family. You weren't born a sorcerer. Someone taught you. Teach me. Tss, tss. Sue's tears are boiled away by her fire while Doom gloats.
This is what it's like not to want to look in the mirror.
Ah!
And as for you, Jonathan, I wonder.
Doom picked up a chunk of orange rock from the floor.
No, much better. Still.
Reed.
Of all of you, it's Richard's skin that will make an armor worthy of my form. He will not be missed, not after what he's put you through this day, simply because of the unseemly way the man holds a grudge. My needs have always been simple. I merely wish to attain my rightful destiny without interference. Richards knows this, and yet he continually impedes an ascension that will benefit everyone, leaving you to pay the price. It pains me to see marionettes strangled by the strings of their puppeteer. If I could, I'd set you free. Doom is nothing if not forgiving. But it's too late. We've reached the endgame, Richards and I. Even now he attempts to clamber within reach of my level of prowess. He can't possibly, of course. But there's always a chance he might learn enough to make his end memorable.
Dr. Strange cautions Reed not to attack the magical enchantments like equations, to relax his guard, because magic is not like science. Reed performs a teleportation spell to escape the library, and appears in a New York street before an oncoming car. He is hit by the car, but luckily his powers return the instant he left the tower, and he is unharmed. Reed complains to Strange that the spell was flawed, but Strange again tells him that precision isn't the key to understanding magic that Reed thinks it is. Magic is about realizing one's place in a larger system and working with its flow, not prying answers from it by force. They make it to Strange's New York sanctum together and find it in shambles. Stephen shows Reed a vision in a burning brazier.
What? What do you see? A grave evil that drew my attention just as I was struck down. It's what has your son. Young Franklin is being tormented in hell by the Hazareth, the trio of demons Doom bargained with to accelerate his command of witchcraft.
Bargained? Usually Victor simply takes what he wants. What's in this for them?
Joy. Every bit of darkness Doom spreads brings them a perverse glee. Beyond that, all they demand is that Doom not forget he is in their debt, and that is unlikely.
We see you.
Ugh! Strange, we have to get him out of there.
You haven't the skill to breach the gulf. First, we must free those within reach. To begin, draw for me a pentagram.
Reed inexpertly tries to attack Doom with magic, but instead the spell harms everyone in the building, his family included.
Ah! Richards.
I can't understand.
Words.
What?
You continue to say you can't understand, but you don't honestly believe it to be true.
That's not...
It is. At heart, you won't accept that there are things that Reed Richards can never know. Reed, you're working with energies and forces and deities outside of your comprehension, and they have some say in that exchange, and they will not respond to you until you remove your ego from that equation.
I'm trying.
You're failing.
Victor smashes down the library door in anger, finding it empty.
Richards! How? How could your father have escaped without my... He knows. He's coming. We're out of time and stealth is no longer an advantage. Here.
What is this?
Your only hope.
Dr. Strange gives up on teaching Reed magic and instead magically creates a handheld device for him. Dr. Doom teleports to Strange's body, intent on forcing his astral form back into it. What do I do with it? How does it work?
Find the magic words. You'll have to figure it out. Self. But once you do, you'll...
Strange's ghostly blue self is suddenly disrupted and disappears. Looking into the brazier, Reed sees that Dr. Strange is now in hell with the demons and Franklin.
Magic words. Alakazam. Abracadabra. Operate! Do something! Come on! Nothing. I can't make it function. Damn it. I'm an idiot.
The device fires a blast of red energy, shattering a vase, and then glows with power.
Huh?
Where's the trigger? I see no exterior switch, no wired relay. I can't figure it out. It fires again, this time reassembling the broken vase. Reed grins. Dr. Doom smashes down the door of Dr. Strange's sanctum and strides confidently inside.
Hide and seek is a children's game, Richards. I deserve better than that. Where are you?
Where I belong. With my family. He finds the Fantastic Four reunited and ready to do battle once more. You were right about one thing, Victor. I'm in over my head. Sue grabs Val in an invisible shield bubble as Reed's device blasts Doom through the wall of the sanctum and out into the street.
What the hell's that?
An exercise in humiliation. I'll be back. Don't let Victor catch so much as a breath.
Alright, somewhere in this neighborhood there must be. Perfect.
Reed stretches with Val until he finds a daycare.
Her name is Val. Take good care of her. She's been through a lot.
He hands her to the puzzled adult.
Huh? Mr. Elastic! Mr. Elastic!
The Invisible Woman and the Thing confront Dr. Doom in the crater he made upon landing.
You sick bastard! Guess what? When it comes to hurting people, you're not the only one with an imagination.
Sue unleashes clawed, snake-like invisible shields and invades Doom's body with them.
Give me my son!
No good, Susie. He needs a little more encouragement.
Sue hurls him toward Ben.
He ain't feeling it yet.
Ben clobbers Doom with a haymaker, knocking him through a wall of earth while Sue shields herself from the falling rocks. Reed rejoins the battle. He presses the attack with his magical device and blasts Victor with red energy. You're insane to hold out on us at this point, Victor. There's no telling what this talisman could do to you. It's completely beyond me.
I have got to start coming to rehearsals. Since when did you become Gandalf the Great?
Since I deduced the magic phrase that unlocks the power. When it comes to sorcery, I'm an imbecile. A fool. A chimp.
You're being kind.
Doom counters, bathing Reed in green hellfire.
Reed!
And as for the rest of you,
He pins Ben and Sue against the wall.
you've seen weeds burst through weathered pavement, I'm sure. I can't imagine it's a painless process.
Doom makes green vines grow from within Ben's rocky flesh.
At least, I certainly hope not.
Fiery footsteps slowly approach Dr. Doom from behind.
Wait, Jonathan, where's... You made him invisible! Unacceptable! Reveal him!
Done.
Sue shields herself and Ben and contains them all as the Human Torch becomes a living inferno in an attempt to burn Doom. The Fantastic Four all lay on the ground while only Dr. Doom remains standing.
That was your best? I suppose that one was never much of a threat.
I wouldn't know. Victor magically seals Reed's mouth to prevent his speech.
Silence. A true magician would be embarrassed by the concept of magic words. What now, Richards? You'll saw me in half? Or would you rather I pick a card?
After looking around at his family on the edge of defeat, Reed concentrates and fires the device without speaking, hitting Doom at point-blank range.
Beautiful.
Allow me.
It's clobbering time.
Reed unloads on Victor with a huge uppercut, launching him across the city and back into Doctor Strange's sanctum as his magical device dissipates.
You didn't add, I'm a lunkhead.
Well, that's because I learned my lesson. But I thought I'd never hold Franklin again. When I saw you all lying there, beaten, it reminded me that Stephen was right. There are higher forces that bind us. This isn't over yet. When I give the signal, here's how we're going to play it. The Fantastic Four confront Doom in the trashed sanctum. I overestimated you, Victor. You're of no use to me. I need my son, and you can't retrieve him. You don't have the power.
You vainglorious cretin. You have no idea what my limits are.
I know better than you, because you're too arrogant to recognize them. You were right about one thing, Victor. The realm of the supernatural is a vast tapestry. But you see yourself as the needle and the thread, and nothing could be further from the truth. I pity you. You'll never be more than a mid-level magician. Your pride cripples you.
Lies. Ignorant lies.
No, Strange was right. You'll never rise above mediocrity. Never. Not until you admit that you answer to resources greater than yourself, that you're obliged to superior forces, and that you owe your accomplishments to them.
Unthinkable! Halfwit! Doom is indebted to no one!
Reed hurls the brazier at Victor.
No one!
Green energy grabs Victor's hands and the demons appear.
Oh, really?
A portal to hell opens and the demons drag Dr. Doom through it.
No!
Now, go! Go! Johnny flies through the portal, carrying Sue and Reed with his unflamed hands. Johnny, down there! I see him! Franklin! They spot Franklin and rush to his rescue, Sue scattering the demons with her shields. Franklin, it's all right. We've got you. The portal's closing. Move! I'm right behind you. Sue holds Franklin and forms a bubble to escape in, while Johnny carries Dr. Strange to the exit portal. Reed's body stretches back through it, holding it open. His armor peeling off in the grip of the demons, Victor Von Doom grabs his arm and pleads with Reed Richards.
Richards, please, help me. All those years ago, you tried to save me. I should have listened to you. I'm sorry.
Huh? You're lying. You don't think I know you by now? After all the misery and pain you've caused us over the years? Ever since the day we met, Victor, all you ever wanted from me was to live in the shadow of your genius. But I swear to you that I will spend the rest of my life forgetting you.
Think again.
Doom touches Reed's face, his hand glowing with green energy. Sue, Johnny, Franklin, and Strange are all safe in the sanctum.
She'll be okay once we get him to a hospital. How's Franklin?
Shh, shh.
It's all better, sweetie. Mommy's right here. Ben, what's taking so long? Where's Reed? Pull him back! Hurry!
I got him.
The Thing hauls Mr. Fantastic back out of the portal to hell.
You all right, pal? What happened?
I had one last encounter with Victor.
But he's gone, right?
Yes.
Then I don't get it. What'd he do?
Reed punches his reflection in a mirror. Reed's face had been horribly disfigured beyond his stretching power's ability to repair.
Reed?
The end. Far more has been damaged than Reed's face, which he will be unable to fix for some time as he and his family bear the physical and mental scars of the traumatic events they have just been through. Franklin actually perceives himself as still being in hell, his illusion of safety shattered so much he can't rejoin the world. But after a long talk with his Uncle Ben about facing the dangers of life with his family by his side, he is finally able to see reality again. Next in the series is the 6-part story Authoritative Action, which will lead off the next episode following this one, and that episode will cover the rest of what I want to highlight from this run, most likely. So I want to give you an idea of where the story is headed here without spoiling too much. The elimination of Doom has left a power vacuum in Latveria, and Reed decides the Fantastic Four will move into Doom's castle and take over, no matter what the military powers of the world or the citizens themselves might think about it. Nick Fury will have to deal with the situation with military forces that becomes an international incident, and things will come to a head in the climax with the shocking death of one of the Fantastic Four. But if you think Reed Richards is going to take that lying down, well, you don't know Reed Richards very well. Reed will build a machine to let him pound on the gates of heaven itself to get back his lost family, as he blames himself for the incident, and those stories will be the bulk of that second episode. But there's more fun stuff before the end of the comic, such as a very fun team-up with the Human Torch and Spider-Man, a tie-in arc with Avengers Disassembled dealing with chaos in New York, and Johnny Storm becoming the new Herald of Galactus. So if there is a third episode, that would be it. This run of Mark Waid and Mike Weiringo's comics is what gave me the appreciation I have for the Fantastic Four. And I feel this is the best version of the book, when it focuses on family and lighthearted adventure and exploration. Though we've seen it didn't shy away from heavier plots either, and the Breaking into Heaven story is quite emotional and touching as well. But it's all set against a backdrop of fun, so I hope you had fun watching this, and I hope you'll join me next time for the continuation of this story. Until then, take care out there, and thanks for watching.